Hello, and welcome back to another development log. Last week, I believe I covered the basic AI that I've been implementing into Seed. Over the past week, I've been expanding on the system and the smoothness of it. It was a bit jerky last week, and the glitchy handshake, best handshake thing happened. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. I think the attack animation just caught in a really weird loop. So I'm going to cut to that now and take a look at what's up this week. So if you look, I believe they didn't have weapons last week. Yeah, no, they didn't have weapons last week. This is a new thing. They hold on to the sword and it's built into their model. So it's not anything different than how the other ones worked, except they actually have visual weapons. But it doesn't actually change anything on them just yet. The glitchy background is probably due to something in Unity, and I don't think it'll be in the actual game. I hope not. I think it's just part of the scene view. So let's see. If you've noticed, I've split the slimes up into 3 different colors. Each of them currently represents a team. So blue is team 1, green is team 2, red is team 3. They're only hostile to things that are not on their team, or things considered hostile. I have to fix the hostile system a little bit, because currently something considered hostile attacks everything, but only gets attacked by things that aren't marked on its team. It's a little weird, so I just wanted to make sure that hostile goes both ways, not one, but that'll certainly be something to be ironed out in the next week when I go over the advanced logic I'm planning for. So I'm going to start it up here, and you'll notice that they start tracking down those from other teams as soon as they can. They do different attack style or different attack animations, and now they block. The block is just a test animation for now. I believe the slimes have a 50% chance of blocking. The blue ones are both getting ganged up on. I think both blue ones are going down. Yep, blue one died. Now they ragdoll. Yep, both blue ones ragdoll. This is a first. Usually the blue are the ones who remain afterward. I thought the red one ragdolled right there. Oh, maybe red will win this one. I don't know why they block each one's allies' attacks. I'm going to have to fix that one. A little bit closer, a little twitchy. And yeah, now the 2 red ones are left. I don't know what that block animation is for. I'll have to stop that at some point. Yeah, something bugged out there. I'll look into that. It doesn't really replicate very often, but now that I have this on footage, I should probably be able to figure out exactly what's going on. I think they're dying while they're blocking. And then the block never runs out, and it doesn't turn off the block animation. I'll have to check. So yeah, now if I go back out of this, I can also set them to go after everyone. So if I turn these all to hostile, they won't care, and they will be one standing. Now if I forgot to turn one to hostile, that one wouldn't attack the one of its same color. It would only attack everything else. It would just willingly die. I do intend to fix that, but that'll be next week's challenge. So now they'll go after anybody they see. Yeah, I think the blue one's targeting the blue one. Yep. It might be hard to showcase. No, yeah, see, the green ones are attacking each other too. Just zoom it in or something. Well, obviously the green one in the center isn't going to make it. I'm guessing the red one probably will. I think next hit the green goes down. Yep. And then they just ragdoll and sit there. believe they can get kicked around if they walk onto them, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'll leave it sit for a second, see if that actually does, but nope. I don't really think there's much else to show for this week, given that it's taken a long time to actually program their logic and get the animations right for all of this, so I don't think I have anything else I can really show. Next week I intend to try to implement dodging, so instead of just blocking, they'll actually be able to avoid attacks, and they won't snap block next week, so instead they have to turn and face their attacker. They'll also realize when they get attacked as compared to just snap blocking with that 50% chance. If you've noticed, there are ragdolls now, but I think that became kind of apparent. I intend to do this on everything, though I haven't decided whether or not I want complete ragdoll deaths, or a death animation followed by a ragdoll, or just both. I'm thinking both, but what do you all think? Why not stick a comment down below saying what you think. Currently, these things don't interact with players. That's another thing I gotta work in, but I think it's as simple as snapping an alignment script to it, and that's about it. Currently, they don't work in multiplayer, and as it stands, I believe they'd only be able to work under the server. Another change I have planned for next week is modifying how the player works. Currently, the player is just the object itself. It's the essence of the player, and that's it. But I don't necessarily want that to be the case. I wouldn't mind the player being something more. So I think I might have it so that the player is a shell that is everything calculated on the client. For example, the player, their weapon summons, and then all the entities they're in charge of calculating. Each of those would be considered a player, but slot 0 is the player, slot 1 is their summon, and then everything else is an NPC or like AI that their computer has, or that computer has taken over. Not particularly sure how to distinguish them, but I believe I should be able to just stick them inside that shell and then have them distinguish themselves as to what they actually are. And it should allow updating much better, because as it stands, it doesn't really work well both ways. It's mostly a server sends updates to all clients sort of thing, and the clients can't change things on other clients, which I guess makes sense for security reasons, so like there can't be any hacking. But on the other hand, it prevents what we're trying to do with Seed. So I'm going to try to find a way to work around it while still preventing cheating with the system, because moving other players client side might be very problematic. Yeah, I don't really think there's much else to show this week, because it took me a while to get these AI to actually function as they do. Next week, though, I certainly want to expand upon their logic, so they don't just automatically walk towards the center and just start attacking. I'll also probably be implementing running. They're supposed to, they just don't change their speed. But I'll be dealing with all of that soon. Probably add player interactions next week, too. If we go back to the chart, if you'll notice, I expanded the AI for 2 more weeks, going into the AI logic. Because right now, they move and attack, but now they need to understand what else they can do, like dodging attacks and like maybe leaping attacks or something, and then potentially magic. But I believe that'll be for a very specialized type of AI, like actual separate commands and not just innate to all of them. I think I'm probably going to do it that way. So I don't think there will be any of that next week, but it's a possibility. Sometime in the next couple, though, I do intend to implement that. Maybe bows as weapons will be soon enough also. Although at least for the AI, I'm not particularly sure about the players just yet. Simply because it requires drawing and then firing versus a single attack. And it's 2 separate animations. I think it's certainly feasible. I just will have to look into it. I might have changed the attack system into something like the spell system, so there's like a channeled version. And after the AI, I do want to move into the quests, as in just get a quest system started so I can build off of that, and then work into the 2D animations, which I'm really looking forward to. Those are going to be fun, so long as I can get the sprite work done well. Or not sprite work, but the 2D layers that make it up. I do intend to try to get it done in 3D, so like build a flat 3D mesh of the player and then warp it, so that I can stick the texture on it and warp it without actually having to warp 2D images, because that's really challenging in Unity, I believe, as far as I know. It'll probably be much easier to edit in Blender and just modify the individual vertices, or modify sections, maybe like a couple bones or something. I don't know. Not sure how to do that, but that's looking really far ahead. For now, I just want to focus on the AI and get that out of the way, and then go from there. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.